Hello, it's your favorite sports thunk here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. The Mavs blow out the Clippers, take a 3-2 series lead, led by Luka Doncic, had 35 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds. He was Luka. He was sensational tonight, 14 of 26 from the floor. Kyrie chipped in with 14. Jones had 12. Max Kleber had 15. Derek Lively, the second, had 12. And Hardy came off the bench, and he gave him 14. The game was close at the half. Well, it was a 10-point lead, if I'm not mistaken, at the half. And then they just took off in the third quarter and didn't let up in the fourth quarter. And this game really wasn't that close. We talked about it, Ocho. In order for the Clippers to win this series without Kawhi, James Harden is going to have to be the beard.
Right.
Paul George is going to have to be playoff Pete. And they've gotten that in 2 games. And the 2 games they won, especially the last game, both guys had 33. James Harden, I think, had 28 points in the first game. Paul chipped in. But in order for them to win this series without Kawhi, Paul George and James Harden are going to have to be what we know them to be, what we've seen them be in the regular season. So James Harden is going to have to be the beard, and Paul George is going to have to be playoff Pete. You back, Gil. Hey, check this out. You watched the game that we started with the Mavericks Clippers. What's your takeaway from this game? Because the game after midway through the third quarter, it wasn't close.
Oh, the Clips got a clip. That's what happened. They was out of there. Oh, there was the old Clippers. Hey, there was. They just didn't come to play with Kawhi being out. Right, James Harden had to be James Harden. Like you had no other choice, and the fact that he only took under 10 shots, he wasn't going to win that game. Him playing like that. So they're about to see next week. They ain't about to see next week, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I got a question for Gil. Gil, you played at the highest level, so I'm kind of curious when it comes to the game of basketball, how difficult, especially during the playoffs or just in general, how difficult is it for players of Paul George and James Harden caliber to remain consistent game after game? Is it that difficult? Because we see them have 2 good games and they win 2 games where they scored well and they were very efficient from the field. Then they have games like tonight where it seems like he wasn't playoff P, he was Paul George. And James Harden wasn't the beard, he was just James Harden. How difficult is it to be complete? That's the only word I can think of or analogy I can use to say where they play like themselves week in and week out or night in and night out.
Yeah, okay. So when it's regular season, the reason regular season is kind of easier is because you don't get to scout me, right? I play you today, I'm flying and play another team tomorrow. We didn't do no scouting for each other, so we're out there balling.
Right.
In playoffs, right? We get there's a book with everything you want to do, all your secondary, your first, everything you want to do as a player. So game to game, there's just little adjustments on you. So if you killed me last game, I have an adjustment for you, right? So a player has to show different skills, different games, different rounds. And a lot of players don't have those type of tools. Right? They think they can go into every series playing the same way. Some games you have to be a decoy. Right? Some series you have to be a decoy. Right? So you rely a lot on teamwork. Right? So I played great last game. I might need Terrence Mann today or Zubac today. Because they're the opens guys. So I might need them two to combine for 30 points. That means the next game frees me back up. So Dallas will not change what they did today because the other guys didn't kill them.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
That's what it comes down to. Because Ocho, like when we start, you want to get to that 4th week because now we got 4 game tapes. We got 4 games. Okay, this is what they did in first and 10, in 2nd and 5, 3rd and short, 3rd and long. Okay, this is what they did in the red zone against this formation. So the computer's going to spit out all the information, what they've done over the last 4 games. And as you go further, now you get to the playoffs, They've broken down every game that they played.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Every 1st and 10, every 2nd and 10, every 3rd and 10, every 1st and 5, every 2nd and 5,
right.
Every 2nd and long, every 3rd and short, every 3rd and long. What they run on 4th down, what they run on the goal line, what they read in the red zone, so everything. So now you got a plate of information, and we know categorically. Now you know they practice too though, so they know what we're doing also. But more times than not, teams are going to stick to what they do because you never want to get beat. Because how many times you heard, man, why would he throw that pitch? He's blowing the fastball by him. Why he throw a changeup? Why he throw a curve?
Yeah.
So, man, y'all know y'all supposed to get Ocho the ball. Why you going to the 3rd receiver? Man, give Ocho a chance. So the team know they want to give Ocho the ball on 3rd down in the 4th quarter, and they down by 4. Now, can they stop it?
Right.
Because they going to Ocho.
No. You heard what you just said? Can they stop it? They can't. Even with the film study throughout the week, whether it's 4 weeks, whether it's 8 weeks, whether it's 10 weeks. When I think about basketball, and like Gil said, when it comes to certain players and their skill sets and how many tools they have in the bag, I'm expecting somebody like a Paul George or somebody like a James Harden who has a skill set, who have, tools in the bag, being able to create space, being able to create their own shot, playing off the ball, pick and roll, all that good stuff.
Yep.
Like I expect them to look the same night in and night out because they have the skill set to be able to do all those things, to always be on each night. So to see him have a game like they did previously where they won, and then come out tonight and just beat us flat, because if you're playing against the same person, then that same level of consistency, I think I would assume would be there because your skill set doesn't change. And the person that's in front of you, if you play in the same team, it doesn't change either. And you can beat them, whether it be 1v1 or whether it be a team effort as well. So it's confusing to me how
it's not.
I think from a football standpoint, week to week, I know I can be consistent because, okay, even if you do study, even if you do know our tendencies to offensively, all right, the coach is going to put me in positions to make plays anyway, regardless. Which is, I'm sure, the same thing they can do in basketball. So it's confusing how James Harden and PG can look great one night. It's like, oh my goodness, they're going to beat the Mavs. And then have a night like tonight, and you know what? Everybody go to shit.
No, you're right. You're right, Ocho. But that's when you see consistency from a player, you have to understand how great that player really is.
Thank you.
Right, so you can see the difference between, the LeBrons, the Kobe's, the Jokic, the Murrays,
right?
The Steph Curry, the KDs, and
because they're beating you different ways each game, not the same way. Jokic, he's going to post you up one game. You take that away. I'm going to pull out for the midi. Then I'm going to pull out for the 3. That's what I'm saying. You got to have different games. If I know Paul George wants to pop, then shoot his fade away, he's not going to be able to beat me 4 games like that.
Right.
I done adjusted to that. So if he doesn't have a backup game, right? If he doesn't know how to post up, if he doesn't know how to flares, duck ins, if you don't have part of that to free him up, if you can just run long, Hail Mary the whole game, I'm just sitting back in the prevent. I'm back in the prevent. You ain't coming back there. Right. So if you don't have your little, 5-yarders, the slants and all the output, if you don't have it in your repertoire, it's easy to have games like this. And
but look what you just said. Look what you just said. These are 2 of the best in the game.
They're not LeBron.
Paul George and James Harden had that in their repertoire.
No, what's the history? Yeah. If you look at James Harden history, he's come up small in the playoffs. Look at Paul George history. There's one game, Russell Westbrook, when he was in OKC, Russell scored 45 points. They lost to Utah. Paul George gave him 5. If you look at James Harden, the most turnovers in a playoff game in history is James Harden with 14. So no, that's not true. Because the difference is that can you take, if you look at the great players, look at Jamal Murray's, what he averaged in the regular season, now go look at what he averaged in the playoffs. Right. Look at Jokic. Look at Jordan. Even Jordan averaged 30 points for a career. He averaged more in the postseason. LeBron James averaged more points in the postseason than he does in the regular season. So does Kevin Durant. That's the difference. Yeah. Guys are able to elevate their level of play. That's what greatness, that's when you know a player is truly historically great. When he can elevate, when he can give you more than what they normally do in the regular season. And the really, really great players, that's what they do. And you look at Paul George's history, that's why everybody was shocked when he say, when they got to that press conference, they say playoff P. They're like, when they start calling you that? I ain't never heard nobody say that. who called you that? Oh, yeah. And Melo said, oh, that's what they call you? I've been in the league 10 years. I ain't never heard nobody call you playoff P. And James Harden has come up small in the playoffs. That's been the criticism. A guy averaged 36, 35 points, won the score. How many? James Harden, I think, has won the scoring title like 3 times. Won the assist title 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And come playoff time, he doesn't play to the level in the regular season. And that's why people criticize him. Because they're like, bro, you had like 35 straight games with 30 points. He's the first guy to have a 60-point triple-double. A 60-point triple-double. Let that sink in. Not only did he go get his, he helped everybody else get theirs.
Right.
Yeah,
become play.
No,
go ahead, Gil.
Playoffs is different. Like imagine even in football, if you had to play the same team a possible 7 times. Right, that first game, everybody gonna get off a little bit. It starts up after that. So like today, let's take Kyrie. Kyrie wasn't trying to take 24 shots today.
No,
the rest of his teammates was hitting shots. So because they were hitting shots, he was just going for the win. So now Ty Lue's game plan has to change for those role players because he don't need the role players to get off next game. Kyrie's going to be ultra aggressive. So it's like chess moves in the playoffs, right? So it's not the best team, it's the smartest.
Right.
It's really the smartest. So right now, Dallas is playing smart basketball. But you got Jason Kidd over there too, so that helps a lot.
Ocho, take it out, sport. What do we credit Tom for? Not for what he did so much in the regular season, but what he did in the postseason.
Oh, in the playoffs.
Them come from behind win. That no lead is safe. 28-3, it didn't matter. Yeah, he's the underdog.
2-minute drives.
14-2 to the Chargers. They win that game. That's what elevated Tom. Look at Terry Bradshaw is 4-0 in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Never lost. But they don't give him the credit or the act or Troy. Troy's 3-0. But it seems like with those, they're like, well, we see Brady them come from behind though, man. Man, Brady was out. Man, you remember what he did in the Tuck Rule game? You remember what he did? He was an underdog at Pittsburgh. They won his first year starting. That's what the playoffs. The regular season will make you great.
Right.
The postseason will make you legendary.
Right.
Will make you iconic.
Hey, and right now, Luka, first of all, Luka's played, 4 games and has not been very well, right? Averaging 29 under. Come out here, give you 35, 10 and 7?
Yes. Think about what you heard what Gil said? Luka's averaging 29 points and he ain't playing well.
And he ain't playing.
Where they say that at, Ocho?
Hey, that makes no sense because I heard the comments that he made where he said he feel like he letting Kyrie down. How you letting Kyrie down if you got a stat line like that? That made no sense to me. I'm like, what did you talk about, buddy?
Because when Luka's playing great like he did tonight, the game is a lot easier. See, Luka sometimes likes to play on a perimeter, shoot a jumper because he can shoot it over everybody.
Right.
Tonight he got inside the lane, realizing the way I play the game, you can't stop me from getting here. Your athleticism means nothing because I know how to play smart basketball.
Right.
So it looks like, man, just stay in front of him. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to use his pump fakes, his head. He knows how to use all of that. So when he plays inside out, it helps him out a lot.